Today is a day of shame, and if you would so please, I would like you to stand up and while watching this video, point at the camera and continuously yell shame, shame, shame while I just sit here with my head down. But you might ask me, why Huzama? Why are you making us do this? And to that I say, I have been a very, very bad boy. That did not sound good. Continuing, why I have been a very bad boy is that this month, or the month of March, it's April now, I did not read any books at all. I did not read any. Like in the previous month, at the end of that, like February, I said that I'm going to read Notes from the Underground, Crime and Punishment, and Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, but the whole month I kept like postponing it. I once opened from the Underground and I just read like 5 pages and just closed it and never opened it again for the whole month. And then at the end of the month it hit me that, oh shit, I need to review these. And then I had to cram, like just sit down for the past 2 days. Like it's April 2 while like I'm recording this. So like I had to instantly read the books, and unfortunately I was only able to read 2 which are these ones. So that is the reason why you must yell shame at me, because I truly deserve it. I don't know why I didn't read any books. I had the time, but I just was doom scrolling on YouTube and Instagram, I guess. But yeah, it was very painful. And as you guys probably know, I don't really like cramming books in or reading them very fast, but I had to do it for you guys. I didn't want to like skip a month, because that's like one of my New Year resolutions, that I want to do book reviews for all 12 months. So here I am, and we'll just begin. This might be a short video because again we only have just 2 books, but yeah, let's just begin. Now, for the first book that I read this month, well, read in April, I guess, is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Now, meditations and the whole Stoic philosophy nowadays gets a lot of shit on the internet. Not because like people love it, like not because of that, but I mean that people take it in a very wrong light. And most of this red pill group on social media have made it all about like, oh, you have to be strong, you don't let anything like come near you and all that shit. But it's the image of Stoic philosophy is very twisted on social media. I have always been interested in Stoic philosophy myself, ever since, especially when I read How to Live Like a Roman Emperor. And I always wanted to read it myself, but I knew I would love it, so I kept postponing it, because that's what I do. When I love stuff, I just keep saving it, that one day I'll read it and I'll have a lot of fun. And finally, this month, I came around to it and came around to reading it. And damn, this book is so good. I mean, there's not really much to say about this book. I mean, it's such a like good masterpiece. If you don't know, Meditations, or this book, is basically written by Marcus Aurelius, and it was found in his personal notebook. The whole points and everything that this book has was basically Marcus Aurelius's personal notebook, and he used to write in it, and all that is consisted in this book. You might be asking, what is in this book? It's basically rules to life, and how you should live your life, how you should live a happy life, and what you should let affect you, or overall just general rules of life. And I don't think this book is made to be read like only once. I have a feeling that you have to read this book many times, or not even many times. I have a feeling that you have to read it like every year or twice a year to get the full potential out of this book, because that's just how it is. You have to remind these rules to yourself, how Marcus Aurelius teaches himself and you through this book on how to live a better and healthy life. And this concept of repetition and reading something or doing something over and over again is very prevalent in the book as well, because while reading it, you will notice that many of the points that Marcus discusses, are we on first terms? Did I just call him Marcus? Okay, never mind. Many of the points that the book discusses are repeated very, very often, right? I mean, throughout this book, some of the things are discussed many, many times, repeated many times in different words, or maybe sometimes even very, very similar words. And that's pretty much the essence of this book. It's pretty much like about how you should always keep practicing stoicism, or any art that you want to do, or any profession that you want to do. It really teaches you that you should keep uh, practicing it over and over and over again. And if you're trying to live a good life, life of a good man, you should always keep practicing it and remind yourself of different rules and regulations that you follow over and over and over again. And that is a very common theme in this book. And overall, I absolutely loved the book, and I'm definitely going to read it again, because how I read it, like, I just had to read it very quickly. I really hated that, but I will probably read it again at the end of the year, just to give it another shot. And it's just a fun book to read. If you are into philosophy, or if you are into self betterment, this book is really helpful and really, really good, and a really, really fun read. I think one of the reasons that this book is very misinterpreted on the internet, and Stoicism in general is very misinterpreted, is that people tend to take stuff very, very literally. And this book was written like 1400 years ago, or something like that. And people in the world tend to take stuff very literally. And of course, not everything that is in this book is gonna apply to life now, because life was very different 1400 years ago, and it's very different now. So I think one of the best advice I can give you is, whenever you're reading a piece of media or book or anything like that, or doing anything in life, try to take things in perspective. Because if you just take this book or take some teachings literally, I mean, let's take The Art of War by Sun Tzu, right? If you just take that book literally, that book just teaches you how to win wars. I mean, I don't know about you, but I sure am not going to like fight any wars anytime soon. So if you take that in perspective, you realize that The Art of War teaches you a lot about leadership, and that's not just on wars and stuff. It's everywhere, in every aspect of life. And that's how you should read books and consume media, to put everything in perspective of modern times, and maybe in perspective of your own life, because everyone has a different life. The second book I read this month was Notes from the Underground by Fyodor Dostoevsky. And wow, what a writer, man. This was my very first time reading Dostoevsky, and it was recommended to me by a very good friend. And all I can say is wow. It's so beautifully written. The way Dostoevsky explores human mind and human psychology is such a beautiful thing, and an absolute marvel in writing. If you don't know, Notes from the Underground is a book about a man who is trying, well, not trying, he's trying so hard and to pretend to himself that he's a good guy and he's a changed man, but everything he does is just very shitty, and he's just a bureaucrat and was very twisted all his life and just liked to fuck people over. But then he inherited some money and left his job, and still whenever he tries to do some shit, it always turns out bad, and he just refuses to accept. Never mind, he does accept that he's bad, but then just tries to persuade himself that he isn't. And whenever he tries to do something good, it just turns out very, very bad, and he realizes that he hasn't changed a single bit. And the book is very, very funny. It has very rhetorical questions and rhetorical writing, and it's not only a really good book about human psychology, it's a really funny book as well, because while I was reading it, I was having a lot of fun. It isn't a boring book. Like, if most of you think about psychology books or psychological stories, that they aren't really that interesting most of the times, but this really has its charm, and it's really, really fun. Now, it isn't just only about that one man trying to figure his life out or some stuff like that. This book discusses a lot of topics in depth about human psychology in general. it also discusses about how even if you give a human everything that he wants or maybe everything he needs, he will find a way to just fuck everything over just to prove his own point. And what point that might be? The point that he has free will. It discusses that as humans, how we are so hell bent on this idea that we have to have our own free will, and we aren't just running on laws of nature, and things aren't just happening to me or us or like the whole of humanity, because that's just how nature works. And it really dives deep into that how our human mind really wants to have this free will, and when he doesn't find it, he goes beyond and slaughters and does very some horrendous shit just to like feel in control of his life. And the book really dives deep into that, and in a very fun way. Again, as I said, the book isn't just all serious psychological shit and all that. It is a very, very good and fun book to read. Now, to be very honest, I don't usually read stuff like this. I have recently gotten into it because of some friends' recommendations. I usually just used to read cosmic horror by H.P. Lovecraft, maybe philosophical books. But I have really gotten into these kind of commentary type of books. I don't know what genre will you put them as, because they are storybooks and they discuss some very, very good psychological and deep topics. I've recently gotten into them, and to be honest, I'm enjoying a lot. Even going into this book, I didn't really have any idea of what to expect. Notes from the Underground, I just thought that it will be about some guy living in hell and it will be just a funny story. But it was a lot more than that, and I'm really glad I gave Dostoevsky's a try. And to be honest, I'm really sad as well because I didn't get to finish Crime and Punishment or even start Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky this month, but that book I am probably going to read next month. You know the funniest part about these two books? They are so extremely opposite. I mean, it wasn't done intentionally by me where I chose these books to read like on like this month, in March. But once, like, if you read Meditations, it's all about how you can live a better life and how you can improve yourself, improve your mind, how you think and all that. And then you read this and it's like, it's basically a guide on how to destroy your life. Or maybe like it seems such an opposite to meditation that it almost seems like a very good coincidence that I ended up choosing and reading these books back to back. Because when I finished Meditations, I was in this like headspace of very what can I call it? Very optimistic headspace. But when I read this, it was kind of depressing because the stuff it talks about sometimes it really gets to you, man. It's serious stuff. So that was very fun for me this month, to having read both of these books back to back and having them be such opposites of each other. Now sadly that is it. I usually do 3 to 4 books a month, or when I review them. I have only done 2 reviews so far, so I usually do 3 or 4, but this time I only have 2 because I just was too lazy all month to read any more. But next month I'm going to punish myself a bit, and I am going to give myself a task to read 4 to 5 books. Again, I am trying to keep this Blue Book Club thing still going, even though nobody reads it, but I will keep doing it until someone in the comments tell me that they read the book with me. So, for the book club for April, I am going to read 3 Body Problem. The second book I'm going to read is Crime and Punishment. Third book is going to be Tender is the Night. Fourth book is going to be something I'm gonna reread, and that is going to be Into the Mountains of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft. I absolutely love that book and I'm going to reread it again. And for the fifth one, that is going to be a mystery. I'm not really sure. I don't have anything on my mind that I want to read, or I don't really have any recommendations. If you have any recommendations for a book I should read, you should leave like in the comments, tell me, and I might read that in April as well. But I plan to read 4 to 5 books in April, just because I couldn't really do it in March. So yeah, I hope some of you guys uh, read with me, and I hope you had fun watching this short little video that I made about 2 books. And yeah, that will be pretty much it for me. Sorry for the short video again, and I hope you all have a fun month, and I will see you in probably a next book review, or if I choose to upload any more fun content. I have started to upload a lot more like silly content about gaming as well on my channel, so be sure to check that out. And other than that, hope you have a good day, and bye bye.